Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Arunodayam's Biology. Today we are going to learn about the role of stomata in case of plants from life processes chapter. Role of stomata in case of plants. So we know very well that on the lower surfaces of the leaves we have many tiny pores called as stomata. On the lower surfaces of the leaves we have seen a cross section of leaf also. On the lower epidermis it has so many pores, small pores. These small pores are called as stomata are present, and gaseous exchange in case of plants takes place through these stomata during photosynthesis and respiration. So we know that during photosynthesis plants has to take carbon dioxide from atmosphere and releases oxygen, which is produced as a byproduct of photosynthesis to outside. So here carbon dioxide has to enter into the plant and oxygen has to leave the plant. So both these gases exchanges through stomata only during photosynthesis process, and also during respiration plants has to take oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. So this exchange also takes place through stomata only. So here in case of plants gaseous exchange takes place through stomata. Okay, and this gaseous exchange not only takes place in leaves but also in different parts of plants also. In other parts of plants also gaseous exchange takes place. For example, in case of leaves stomata are present for gaseous exchange. In case of herbaceous stems, they also have stomata for gaseous exchange. Whereas in case of woody stems, they have lenticels. Just like stomata, woody stems also have small tiny pores called as lenticels. Through these lenticels, exchange of gases takes place in case of woody stems. And in case of fruits, they have small hair-like structures called as root hairs. And through these root hairs, the plants perform exchange of gases even in the soil also. So that is about the pores which are present for gaseous exchange in different parts of plants. Let us see how stomata works. Whenever there is no need of carbon dioxide, whenever sufficient amount of carbon dioxide is already present in the plant body for photosynthesis, in order to avoid water loss, the stomata will close up in the plant body. Stomata will close up. So closing and opening of stomata is controlled by two cells called as guard cells. Two cells called as guard cells. So this is the structure of a stomata in leaves. So this tiny pore present here is called as a stomatal pore or stoma. Stomatal pore or stoma. This pore is surrounded by two kidney shaped cells called as a guard cells. These two kidney shaped cells present surrounding this tiny pore are called as a guard cells. Okay, and the cells present around these guard cells are called as adjacent cells. So this is the structure of stomata. During the closing of sorry during the opening of stomata, whenever plants has to open their stomata to absorb carbon dioxide from atmosphere, what happens here is the guard cells will absorb water from the adjacent cells and becomes swells up. These two guard cells absorbs water from the other cells of the plant body and they become swell up. So these two cells will swell up. So some gap is produced between them. That is nothing but stomatal pore is opening here. Okay, that is how a stomatal pore opens. The two guard cells absorb water from the adjacent cells. They become swell up. They open the stomatal pore. Thus, gaseous exchange takes place in the stomata. Okay, during when the stomata has to close, whenever the plant is in no need of carbon dioxide or whenever the plant has to avoid water loss, the stomata has to close, isn't it? So this is how happens here. The two guard cells will release the water present in them into the surrounding cells. The two guard cells already has some water, no? When they open the stomata, they have some water in them. So these two guard cells releases water into adjacent cells. Thus these two cells becomes a shrink and come close together. Because of that, the stomatal pore becomes closed. So this is how the stomata closes whenever there is no need of carbon dioxide for the plant. So this is how stomata works in the plants. Okay, today we have learned about the structure of a stomata, about guard cells and stomatal pore, and we have seen how they works also. what happens to guard cells during closing of stomata and during opening of stomata we have learned in this video. Hope you understand it. If you have any doubts, please ask me in comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Jai Hind.